How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Central Bank Studio in Highland. And this is your Hose Connection Halftime Report. I'm Mike DeWine, your host, and I'm joined by the former Andrean 59er, Rick Novak. What's up, my man?
How's it going, Mike?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. We got some games. We got some scores coming in. We're going to start it off. Bishop Knoll and River Forest. River Forest is up 42-0. We got that game in the second. We got our 9th-ranked Boone Grove Wolves at halftime, 42-7 over the Whiting Oilers. We have Wheeler, who's coming in at 3-3, up 28-0 over Calumet at the half. We got a big game, Battle of the Hammond, 7v8. We got Morton coming out strong, 26-3. I think that game's still kind of winding down in the second. We have the Battle of the Bridge, one of my favorite rivalries, been a part of it plenty of times. That game's at half. Munster, 21, Highland, 7. We got our 5v2. We got the Brickies traveling to Hanover Central to take on the Wildcats for the battle for the top of the NCC. We got Hanover leading at the half, 17-10 over the Brickies. We're going to go with our number 1 ranked team. We got Bulldogs. Keep doing what they're doing, man. They're just running the table.
Machine.
They're a machine, up 35-0 over LaPorte. We got Chesterton, maybe a little bit of an upset brewing over there, over LC, kind of at home, 14-7 at the half. We got the Kirk Kennedy-led KV Cougars over his previous team, the Lowell Red Devils, 24-0 at the break. We got the 3v4 Valpo Vikings. Valpo up 20-17 at the half. Our 6th-ranked Michigan City Wolves, that's 14-0 over Portage in the second. We got Griffith and Westside. I think that just started in the third. Westside's up 8-0 at the Boneyard, and Andrean traveled to Indy Chittard. That is 41-0. I believe that game's entering in the fourth. We got a lot of big slate, my man. We got some great games, and I don't know, we got a lot to talk about. What stuck out to you in this first half of football?
Well, I think I'm going to go to one of our games we've got on to start, and that's going to be Maryville and Valpo. I think this was kind of the game of the week in the region. 2 heavyweights. 2 teams that have really dominated the area the past few years, and it's a slugfest to start. 20-17. Valpo brought the kickoff back there at the end of the half to go up. They've been down the whole game, so very interesting game. Valpo without Thomas Davis, their starting running back right now, so they've been kind of struggling on offense, but they're still getting it done, and I'm really excited to see how that one's going to end.
Yeah, it's a clash of the Titans there. We kind of talked about it a little bit before, and that was really the game we were kind of watching here at the Central Bank Studio. Yeah, Julian Stokes, after going down 17, I believe, was it 17-13, I believe, Maryville, and huge kickoff return. It's been kind of a game of really all 3 phases,
It really has. It's been a really good football game. One of the better football games you've probably seen all year so far in that first half. And right now it's very hard to say who's going to come out on top because this has been a kind of a defensive struggle. We've seen turnovers. We've seen special teams have a big impact. We've seen spectacular plays. We had a John Peters touchdown about 60 yards.
Crazy catch.
On a tipped ball. So it's been a really good game so far. If you haven't been watching it, I would definitely suggest tuning in because it's been a dandy.
We're there, too. We're there. Go check it out. We got Michael Bradner on the call. We got a lot of guys there. Another top 5 matchup that I think is worth talking about, Hobart versus Hanover. It's the battle for the NCC. Both teams, I believe, are 4-0 in the NCC, battling for that top spot in the conference. Talk to me about what you've seen so far and what to expect in the second half.
Well, you saw Hobart came out 7-0, and they really jumped on them, but then Hanover responded. Went up 17-7. Hobart got back on the board late with a field goal to cut the lead to a touchdown again. It's been a good game so far. Hobart's coach, Eric Schreiber, actually texted me a little clip of our show last week that they had put on their kind of little billboard motivation or oh gosh, you know what I'm talking about.
Little bulletin board material, I guess.
There we go. I couldn't get the word there, but yeah, they've been up to stuff so far, kind of stuff in this Hanover offense, but they're going to need to get a little bit more going on offense themselves, the Brickies are, in order to be able to win this game.
Again, one of many homecoming games that are happening on right now. It's that time of the year, senior nights, homecoming all over the board, a lot of festivities. Before we go to break, you and I were both players, and we know that homecoming halftime is unlike anything else. It's a long halftime, whether it's your school doing it or another school. How do you as a player kind of stay locked in and just be in the game, in the moment, and not facing the effects of that long halftime?
Well, I was never a part of homecoming quarter or anything like that. I think it might be harder for guys who are actually out on the field doing the actual homecoming stuff. That might be a little bit different. I think if you're in that locker room right now, I think it's actually just staying loose, staying warmed up, making sure you're not getting tight. And because it is a longer halftime, you don't want to kind of, tighten up there and come out in that second half and be sluggish. So staying loose, staying prepared to play, staying focused, especially, like I said, I think it's probably even harder for those guys who are out there on the track or whatever they're at, doing the crowning or whatnot.
Right.
It's been a while for me. So, but yeah, I would say just trying to stay loose, trying to stay locked in, just the standard things you got to do in a halftime, but you got to do it a little bit longer.
Yes, sir. We'll be excited for the second half. We're going to take a quick little break here. This has been your Hose Connections halftime report on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Update your kitchen or bathroom with Von Tobel. Get 20% off select cabinets now through October 28th. Von Tobel has cabinets and vanities in a range of styles and colors. Plus, built-in storage, countertops, and flooring. Our designers will help you find the perfect selections for your style and budget. Scan to visit VonTobels.com today to book your free consultation at one of our 4 Indiana showrooms. Von Tobel. Building better together.
If you work with industrial, pneumatics, or hydraulics, and you're in need of maintenance or repair, you need the right connection. For over 20 years, Hose Connections in Hammond has been the premier leader in the hydraulics industry. Hose Connections is a one-stop shop for sales and service of pneumatics and hydraulics. Hose Connections continues to grow their network of industry contacts, which allows them to meet even your toughest expectations. To learn more, visit HoseConnectionsInc.com. Hose Connections in Hammond. Proven under pressure.
When life takes you places and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strack Van Til to go. Our to-go service is easy to use and it can save you time and money. Once your order is in, our own Strack Van Til team preps your order with care. For delivery or pickup, enjoy the convenience of letting our to-go team shop for you. Enjoy your special moments. Sign up online today at shop.strackandvantil.com.
From schools to stadiums, hospitals and bridges, everywhere you look, union carpenters are building Indiana. With jobs and skilled trades in high demand, there's never been a better time to start building your future. As an apprentice, you'll earn a debt-free college degree, earn while you learn, and receive great benefits like healthcare and retirement. So what are you waiting for? Visit carpenters.com to learn more. Visit carpenters.com and start building your future today.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Have you checked out Centier Bank's student checking account? This no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as a debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit Centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you are under the age of 18, your parent or guardian must also sign on the Centier student checking account. At the age of 25, your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Centier Bank studio in Highland. This is the Hose Connection halftime report. Mike Dewan here with Rick Novak, and we're going to kind of go over a little bit more of the games. And first, we got to plug something else here. We have these tapes that have been sitting here for a while. You saw this on our last halftime show. We got everything, man. These things are older than us, dude.
Much older. I mean, this is Clark versus Whiting from November 2nd, 1973.
I'm pretty sure we plugged that last week, and
this is on old.
What was that, 73?
I don't even know what this is.
Back in my day, man. Yeah, this even a CD, man. I don't even know what this looks like. Carmel versus Highland from '87, I believe. Yeah, this is playoff time right here. So
that's semi-state. I remember. That's
right. So, and again, we're doing something very great here at Region Sports Network. We have a GoFundMe going on right now. It's Remember the Region. It helps us we have a huge collection. There's more of where this all came from. We have boxes and boxes, and we need your help to kind of digitize this stuff and just keep our history alive. So go check out the link on our GoFundMe. We have it in our link tree, which is found out on all our social media platforms. You can go on our Facebook, Instagram, you name it, it's somewhere, and just go check it out and help us remember the region. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great games, and to lose these would just be a shame. And you got your dad, your uncle, your cousin, who knows who's in here, and to be able to get all these games on our digital library, so where if anybody wants to watch them ever, they can, would just be a great thing. And we're asking the Region Sports fans out there to please find it in your heart to be generous. We really, it's doing this is pretty costly, so we're a pretty small business, so it'd be great if you could just find it in your heart to kick in whatever you can, because it just be, like we said, it'd just be a shame to lose all these games. And so the link I want to say is in the bottom right.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Our link tree. He could
click that link and donate something.
How could you say no to that? He could sell snow to a polar bear. He's a great salesman.
I've never done it before. But
we'll talk a little bit more about the games we have with the Battle of Hammond, the new rendition, and this has been something we may not have expected. Right now we got 32 Morton Central 3. Talk to me about what we've seen. We had a Dontel Harris touchdown. Holland Harris has been one of the better junior quarterbacks, I think, in the area. He has passing touchdown and 2 rushing touchdowns. It's just been a rout. I mean, talk to me about it, man.
Well, I think, Morton the past couple of years probably hasn't been what they had been, in recent years before that. But they were very young, and I think now we're seeing those young guys who maybe took a little bit of their licks the past couple of years starting to get older, starting to kind of mature and really come into their own. And last year, they played Hammond Central twice, and they lost both times. And one time was in the sectional by a point, I want to say.
Yeah.
So they're probably circling this game for a little while, and they wanted – because Morton, for a long time, they were the dominant football school in Hammond. And I think they were expecting for that to continue after consolidation. And, Hammond Central with a 2-0 record after 1 year. And I think the Governors are trying to change that and trying to reestablish themselves as that dominant football program in Hammond.
Now talk to me as a player a little bit. Imagine this. How much of a chip does this put on your shoulder? You play your biggest rival and you lose to them by a point in the sectionals, and then you come back and play them next year. I mean, what do you think that feeling's like for the Morton players coming into this game, knowing they have a lot to avenge after that tough heartbreaker last year?
Like you said, I mean, it's avenge. You're trying to revenge the game. I think that's definitely the whole thing right there. You don't want to ever lose to a rival, let alone in the playoffs.
No, sir.
And it never leaves a good feeling, a good taste in your mouth. And so I think they've definitely been, preparing for this one. And they played a tough schedule. They're 3-3, but they played a lot of good teams. They played Penn, they played Elkhart, they played a lot of good teams. So they've taken, the challenge of the competition. So now when they're playing, the teams around here, it's kind of showing. You play those good teams, you schedule the best teams, iron sharpens iron.
Yes, sir.
So then when you play other teams, then you're kind of used to playing at a higher level, and we're kind of seeing that right now, because right now the Morton running game is just running all over Hammond Central.
Yeah, it's but they spread the ball around a lot, and that's where, again, in this game, I thought Morton was I think they had the advantage, and Hammond Central's been kind of one-dimensional with what we've seen these past 2 weeks, and it's showing. But kind of going on to I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about Hobart Hanover. We're both NCC guys, man. We're
exactly.
Munster and Andrean, and we really, I think, take pride in this conference, no matter how we end up. It's kind of apples to oranges with Andrean and Munster, but it's seeing Hanover, again, at the lead at half. Hobart had a huge field goal to not, 10-17 by Xander Langford to put it, 7-point deficit. But if Hanover walks out with this, I mean, this is their conference title to lose. And, I mean, what can you say? Again, Andrean, as a Mustang, I think Andrean is up there with the Blue Bloods, not only in the NCC, but in the entire area. And again, to see Hanover kind of walk in and, do what they've done, it's very impressive. But what's your take on it as somebody who's usually, a team that's very successful, kind of always at the top of it, than to see a team kind of come in here and keep it going?
We talked about this last week, me and Chris. I expected Hanover to come in and be one of the better teams in the conference.
Me too.
If you've seen them the past few years, their dominance in the Greater South Shore and the way they built that program, I expected them to be up there with Hobart, Lowell, and Andrean. But the dominance they've shown so far, I have been surprised by that. And this game is obviously a lot closer, and it's not over yet. Hobart could pull this out still. But Hanover's, anybody who thought that they would not come in and compete has been completely proven wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, but that goes without saying. I mean, they've come in. I mean, they put the running clock on Lowell, and like you said, if they win this game, they're in the driver's seat for the conference title and for another undefeated season.
They control their fate.
And
It's.
I said last week, I hope this wakes up the other teams in that conference, because if this ever, I said last week, if this ever happened when I was in school, I mean, we would not want the team coming in their first year winning the conference, going undefeated, running the whole table, and really not breaking a sweat. Tonight, they're having to work for it. I think that's good, but maybe they're still going to pull it out. We'll see. So Hanover's dominance and the way they built this program, it's nothing short of impressive. And the growth down there in Cedar Lake and South Lake County, you got to think that, this might not be, a fluke or anything like that. This might be kind of how it goes from now on. Almost.
Right.
It's hard to say that after 1 year, because I also think maybe the conference, the NCC overall, is a little down from what it has been.
I could say so.
The past couple years. But still, Hanover, how they've adjusted, it really looks like they haven't needed to adjust at all. They look like they've just been coming in, playing the exact same way that they have, and they're still dominating. So until someone really shows they can knock them off, like I said, Hobart tonight looks like they have a chance. But until someone can come out there and actually dominate Hanover, they look like they're in the driver's seat for this conference from now until whenever.
It's theirs to lose if they get this done. The game, I think, still 10-17, might be starting the third quarter now. I know it's homecoming over there. It was a Willie Shearer touchdown to get the scoring going for Hobart, but Emmy Doty, a field goal for Hanover, make it 7-3, and then Matt Kuntz and Caden Verrett had 2 touchdowns before Hobart got a field goal at half, made it 10-17. And again, like you're saying, that's so many implications for not just this year, but I mean the future of the conference. Keeping it in the conference a little bit. We wanted to talk a little bit about Lowell and KV. That's kind of a shock. The storyline behind it is, KV head coach Kirk Kennedy is he's giving the works to his old team, man. Talk to me about that a little bit.
Well, and everybody's followed region football for any period of time knows that Kirk Kennedy was the guy who kind of put Lowell on the map. I mean, He was their coach for a long time, and he left, and now he's back in the region after about a decade, and back at KV, and Lowell has dominated KV historically. I want to say I looked up the all-time record is something like 27-2. I mean, it's been complete and pure domination. But
Shocking,
Lowell
man.
is maybe not what they are usually this year. They look like they're a little down. And KV, they've got a guy now in Coach Kennedy who he's won a state championship. He's coached in other state championships. He knows what it takes to build a program, and a program that's pretty similar to KV. I mean, they're both Lowell and KV are both, 4A kind of farm schools, and pretty similar in terms of demographics, etc. So he knows how to win with a team just like KV. So I think, last year was his first year. They took a little bit of their lumps, but if you just give him a couple of years, I expect him to turn this program around and to make them a contender, because, like I said, he has the track record. He's probably a Hall of Fame coach. So you just got to give him time and the space to kind of let him do his thing, and I'm sure that he's going to get KV up to snuff. And 24-0 against Lowell at halftime. I mean, when's the last time KV has been up that many points against Lowell ever?
Pinch me, I'm dreaming, man.
Exactly.
This is again, shout out to Kirk Kennedy, big revenge game, and they're making it happen. We'll shift over to the deck a little bit. LC finds themselves down by 7 at the half, if that game has not started back up in the third. But we had a Brady McCormick to Cameron Chadwick touchdown to open up the scoring for Chesterton. LC cut that lead in half with Chase Kwiatkowski pass to L.J. Richardson for a touchdown to only make the deficit 7. But me and Jack Thiel talked about it a little bit on Region Football Weekly. This is the start of a gauntlet of 3 weeks for LC football. I looked at the research. I think since, I believe, 2017, their 3-game split is Chesterton. I believe they have Maryville and Valpo. They have gone 1-17 in the past 6 years.
Wow.
I mean,
in their final 3 games.
It's brutal. It's brutal, and it's it's a terrible luck of the draw, and they haven't beat Chesterton since I think 16.
Wow.
So what are we seeing here? Is this another history? More history? Can LC bounce back?
I think that just goes to show just how tough it is to get wins in the Duneland.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a tough conference. Every team is very physical. I think, really, to me, what separates teams in the Duneland is their skill position players, how they can actually move the ball, create explosive plays, because every team basically can play really strong defense and can run the ball. It's kind of like the Big Ten, in my opinion, in that way, where it really, the Ohio States, they kind of win with their speed, and you see that with like Maryville or Crown Point now. So right now, we've seen Chesterton, their record is 2-4, but I've seen a few of their games, and they really haven't been blown out at all.
And they're banged up too.
Yeah, and they're super injury riddled, but they're always really good on defense. They're always super physical, always very well coached with Coach Peterson. And Lake Central, I think they're struggling on offense still, and I think with Williams getting hurt, he was kind of their identity coming into the season with him running the ball. He's been kind of banged up. I think they've kind of been off balance since then, and they really haven't been able to get anything going on offense. And it's tough in that dueling when everybody's playing good defense. If you don't have anything going on offense, you got to score points to win the game.
For sure.
And if you can't, it doesn't matter how good your defense is playing if your offense can't move the ball. So Chesterton seems like they're doing what they need to do just enough to be able to win this game so far, but still a long way to go.
For sure. We got a little Strack and Van Til scoreboard updates. We have Hanover getting back on the board, 24-10.
Oh,
they're running away, man. These new kids on the block, they're kicking down the door, and they're making their way to the NCC title. We also have KV scored another touchdown, 31-0. They're beating the brakes off of Lowell. It's something we haven't seen.
Put the running clock on them.
It's crazy. Round out with this, we former West Side coach. You were talking to me a little bit about that, but also played under Griffith head coach Phil Mason. So it's I believe what we got right now is West Side 14, Griffith 7, a battle of the 3-3s in the GSSC. Talk to me about this. I think I had Griffith kind of looking good for this game, but it's a little, I don't know, did not expect this so far.
Well, yeah, Hanover's not the only other team coming into a new conference.
That's
this
true.
Year. I mean, West Side has taken the place of Hanover in the Greater South Shore, and they've had some mixed success. And I think for them, it's about adjusting to that level of play. I think beforehand they were having to go play teams from Indianapolis, South Bend, kind of far-reaching places. Now they've got a little bit more stability with the conference, but they need to get kind of familiar with the conference then, and that maybe takes a year or so. But right now, I mean, looking good against Griffith, the Griffith team that's on a 3-game win streak, playing better for Coach Mason, who's a very good coach, and I think he's got those guys going in the right direction as well.
For sure.
So we've got two teams here who are kind of one team coming into a new conference trying to build a new identity, and another team trying to build a new identity because they've got a new coach, new coaching staff, and kind of trying to reset the whole program. So it's been a good game so far, 14-7 West Side. I'd be interested to see how that one plays out. I think Griffith still isn't out of it, but again, I mean, I'm not really surprised. West Side has some good linemen. They've got some good size, good running game. Their quarterback, Joe, is very good. So good game there so far as well.
Hey man, it's about that witching hour. About a lot of these losses turn to wins, as they say on NFL Red Zone. This has been the Hose halftime show here in our Centier Bank studio with Rick Novak. I'm Mike Dewan. Hey, go check out again. We have our Strack and Van Til hometown scoreboard, where we could find all the scores, as well as our 2 broadcasts tonight. Game night in the region, built by Von Tobel. We have LaPorte at Crown Point. That game is audio. And then we have our 4v3 Maryville at Valpo, which I believe those games are starting to kind of kick off again. So go check it all out. And again, that's also got to plug this, man. Keep looking at it,
Please.
Come on.
Don't let this go to waste.
How can you say no to that? Again, remember the region. Go check out our GoFundMe on our social pages. Wherever you can find it, it'll be there somewhere. So, again, please help us out. But, again, this has been the Hose Connections Halftime Report. Catch us after the games, too. We'll have our wrap-up. But, again, for Rick Novak, I'm Mike Dewan here with Region Sports Network, the only game in town.